Hey guys, so this is Felicity. She is an American Girl doll, one of the OGs, um, and I have been staring at her standing on top of my bookcase in my bedroom, collecting dust for the last 10 years, possibly longer. Uh, and I, I kind of feel bad because she is 25 years old because I think I got Felicity when I was around 10. As many millennials know, American Girl dolls were wildly popular in the 90s and early 2000s. Not saying that they're not anymore, but they were kind of a new commodity. In 1991, Felicity was released, which is 1 year after I was born. And for a long time, like many kids my age, I really wanted one of these. I actually was looking at getting Molly because she had glasses like I do. But I had a friend who was a little bit older than me who convinced me to get Felicity instead because she had Kirsten and she wanted our dolls to be closer in time period. Looking back, I don't really see why that mattered so much, but I don't regret getting Felicity. No hate to Molly. I mean, all the dolls, especially from when I was younger, are really good. I really like them. I like the historical dolls, but Felicity is closer to time periods that I actually enjoy when it comes to historical fashion. But yeah, I decided to restore her. She was very dusty. Her bonnet, most of all, um, because she was standing. She had a doll stand that was for larger dolls, but not quite large enough for her. So she has a bit of an indent in her hip. I'm hoping with handling that will come out. Her bonnet took brunt of the dust. It was so bad, covered in so much dust. And I actually tried to hand wash her clothes. Her bonnet and her outer dress, this striped outer dress, were the worst. Her socks also had some dust on them, even though her dress does come down to her feet. Dust was still collecting down there. And her hair ribbon also had a lot of dust on it. I tried hand washing them, but it wasn't working. I was using detergent and I did it in the bathroom sink, but it was just not cleaning up as much as I had wanted. So I actually threw her bonnet, her dress, her chemise, which she does wear the underlayer here, her chemise, her ribbon, and her socks all into the wash on a delicate cycle with a little bit of detergent with bleach in it because I noticed that her bonnet, which is supposed to be white, is very yellowed. And it's probably a combination of staining from the dust and the lights in my room, and the bookcase that she was on was right by a window, so potentially also sunlight whenever my window was open. Didn't quite go as planned. For some reason, I had her bonnet and her dress in one mesh bag and then everything else in a second mesh bag, just to kind of make sure it doesn't all get clumped up into one bag. It still happened with her bonnet and her dress, so I actually had to hang them up to let them dry overnight. I also had to darn both of her socks. They both had a hole in them. And I also had to fix the elastic in the neckline of her chemise. The elastic, being 25 plus years old, had completely given up. It was completely stretched out. And there was also a slight hole in the folded over edge that the elastic was in. The threads had started to come out, which worked for me because it meant I could take the elastic out real easily and put a new one in, which I did last night. And then I just sewed up that little spot. Nice, so it was nice and closed. Why am I telling you all of this? Because I want to make her some new outfits. I am going to get started by making some patterns for her. I was going to buy some, but I decided that I don't need to do that I'm just going to make them myself. I've done that before. I've made my own patterns. So let's make some patterns off of Felicity. Okay, so it is the next day. The last thing you saw me doing was making a duct tape pattern and transferring those pieces to paper. I realized between last night and this morning that I don't know enough about 1770s fashion to make patterns that look correct. I'm not going for perfect accuracy. Obviously, I don't know enough to make it perfectly accurate, but I still want it to at least have the right silhouette. That's why with the pattern, I made the necklines much bigger than I would normally. If I was doing modern clothes, the neckline would be much closer to the neck, unlike 1770s fashion. So I ended up caving and buying a pattern. Now, I got really lucky because on Etsy, somebody had taken the original 1992 Felicity's Pretty Clothes patterns and scanned them in and put them on the internet for pennies, literally pennies. Hi, Editing Cole here, just popping in real quick to let you guys know. After I filmed that, I had done some more research on the Pretty Clothes patterns and found that there's actually a website called agplaythings.com that has all of them, and by all of them I mean Kirsten, Samantha, Molly, Felicity, Josephina, and Addie, free for download. You can download them completely for free from agplaythings.com. So while no hate to the Etsy seller, they were not responsible for the upload of these patterns to the internet. It was a group effort from what I've learned from the website. So yeah, if you want to sew your own version of the American Girl Doll clothes, you can go to agplaythings.com. And now back to the video. The Pretty Clothes pattern book has her blue Christmas dress, her chemise or shift, as they call it, same term, or two different terms for basically the same type of undergarment. Her shift, a different kind of shift, her nightgown, three different types of bonnets or caps. It also has her school outfit. So the jacket that laces up the front and the detached skirt. So that is everything that comes in this pattern. What I have printed out is her Christmas dress, her school outfit, the cap with the curve here. I think it's called cap with ear something. It has a term for the covering of the ears. And it actually says in the book that it's Felicity's favorite cap. I think I'm going to start with just her blue dress. I'm going to cut everything out. But for you guys, we're going to jump straight into fabric picking because that is something else I don't know what I want to do with. Okay, so I have all my pieces cut out. And I also did a quick little search to see what everything looks like as finished garments because I never had the blue dress that this pattern is based on. If you follow Sosteen here on YouTube, she actually recreated the blue dress for herself. And in that video, she kind of goes over all the pieces. So it is an underskirt, the overdress, which includes the sleeves, the bodice, and a skirt portion, and then the stomacher. What my thought is to give her, because it's a Christmas dress, right? And it's also getting to be that time of year here. I kind of want to make her a Christmas dress, but in colors and fabrics that I currently own, but also actually enjoy. So I am going to rifle through my fabrics. It's not going to be a super fancy fabric like it would have been back then, which would probably be silk. And for the doll itself, it at least had a kind of, like, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like a swishy tracksuit type material. Probably polyester, but it had that silk look and sound to it. But I don't really have anything like that. Well, that's not entirely untrue. I do have some, I think it's satin. I don't remember what it was. It was a remnant that I got from Joann's for a different project. And I might be able to use some of that for something. It was probably like a quarter of a yard. It wasn't a lot. I know I have it up here somewhere. It's in my bin, most likely under the table. But I'm going to take a quick rifle through my fabrics. So, focusing just on her Christmas dress, these are our contenders for the green. Now, the issue is that I know I don't have a lot of fabric to do all of this. These are huge pieces and would probably take up the entire quarter that I have. If I had remembered I had this one, I would have used this for the collar instead of this one, and then I would have two of these. But I didn't see it, and the two that I used for that one collar were next to each other because I knew they matched. I do have this that I could use for something. And then of course I have plenty of white cotton that I use for a myriad of things. Plain old white cotton. When I make her new cap, that is what I will be using for the fabric. Let us go into montage mode. It was at this point that I was getting very frustrated with trying to make the green fabric work, so I decided to pivot into making her a new cap instead. I took a couple days off. The green fabric issue was starting to get frustrating, not having enough for what I want to do. And so I, as you saw, pivoted to making a new cap, the rounded ear cap, which also frustrated me because it wasn't complicated, but it was intricate, I guess is the best way to put it. Like I'll show you. So this ruffle at the front here was supposed to be pleated, and at first I was doing the pleat wrong because it wanted smaller pleats than I realized. The way the pattern is here. You can see it has these lines and these little arrows, and these are the pleats. And in my head, I thought this line gets folded over to this line for all of them, which makes the pleats bigger but reduces the size of the ruffle faster than it's supposed to, because this is cut on a fold, so it's double the size. No, what they want is you to take this line and fold it over to this line. So basically it's what, a quarter of an inch? Yeah. So basically they want me to fold a quarter of an inch of fabric in half. So it gets folded right in the middle here, these two lines touching, and then it just gets folded over. Well, it would be this way because they want them going in that direction, which is really hard. And like, I was still, sometimes I let my nails grow out, not too long, but just I haven't cut them in a while. And they were still long when I was working on this. So like I had a little bit more something to delicately work on it, but it just was not working. So I ended up just gathering it, which isn't as perfect. It looks pretty good on this side, and it's pretty decent on this side, but to try and get it to fit, it's not as gathered. And there's also marks. I don't know. It bothered me. And like the construction of it, it wasn't super difficult, but like I had to gather the top of the cap, which this is it on if you cut it on a fold, so you can see how big it was before I gathered it. There's also an elastic here across the back, and it was like, put the elastic in, now sew the gathering stitch. I'm like, why would I do the gathering stitch after it has an elastic in it? It's not going to be flat. It's going to be harder for me to put those stitches in. So I did it in reverse order. Like I hemmed it, but I didn't put the elastic in. Anyway. And obviously I didn't record a lot of it because it was frustrating me so much. Yeah, so I don't have a lot of footage. Even when I like meant to film, there was some times that I filmed, but like it was so, like you couldn't see what I was doing. Or like the camera would be rolling, I would like get up and I wouldn't even be in frame. I just wanted it done. So I took the last few days to not work on this. But I'm back. I've been thinking about the dress situation those last few days. to kind of come up with a solution, because like not only do I not have enough fabric, the skirt pieces, you cut 2 front skirt pieces and then a back skirt piece on the fold, which are these. This is almost a full-size sheet of paper. It's basically a full-size sheet of paper. And then this is obviously the same length, but not as wide. Like, these are huge. These are huge pieces of fabric. And I'm not used to sewing for doll clothes of this scale. So I just didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it would be an issue. So I don't have enough. I have 1 full piece of that green fabric, and it's just not big enough for both of these. So I've been trying to decide. what do I want to do. I don't have enough fabric of anything is the issue. I don't have any green fabric, which is surprising. Green's my favorite color, and yet I really don't have a lot of green fabrics at all, really. I even thought about using the fabric from the pirate coat, which it's not the right shade of green for what I want, but it's more of an intricate fabric, because that's also another thing that's been bothering me. It's quilting cotton, so it's flat, it's dull, it has no shine to it. It's also a solid color, it has no design on it. Like this, at least has that kind of marbling effect to it, but it's a little too muted for me. I would have loved it to be this shade of green, but have this kind of marbling to at least have some more dimensionality to it. But it doesn't. And so I've been trying to figure out what I want to do, because I want her Christmas dress to be green. I want her dress to be green. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically, I have no choice, because it's either find a completely different fabric and it not be a green dress, or not do it at all, or have something be cut out of a different fabric. So that is what I'm going to do. The back panel is going to be this slightly muted but marbled green, and then the front panel as well as the full bodice is going to be this green, which is the green that I want. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start cutting out pieces now that I know what I'm doing.
No notches on it. You lied to me. Because you can't say what notches. Oh my god, you mean that and that? Oh my god.
Okay, so I am at the home stretch for the dress. The dress is basically finished, and all I have left to do is add the snaps to the inside, do the stomacher piece, and then add the snaps as well. My issue is that I want to decorate the dress. The dress calls for a gathered ribbon that goes all the way around, made of the same fabric, or it says a ribbon specifically, but of a similar color. I don't have anything like that. I don't want to do that. I specifically didn't do a ribbon here, which was definitely cut from the same fabric because I don't have any more of this fabric. I wanted to do white, and it didn't work out with the white ribbon that I have. For the dress, I have this bit of white crocheted lace. This is all I have, and it fits perfectly. It's a little longer than the length that I have to go all the way up, around, and down. The issue is that it also looks really good on the stomacher, layered with about 3 rows with some spacing in the middle. I think it looks really good like this too. Obviously, it would be a lot neater than that. Also have these machine embroidered bows that came with a box of stuff that I got off someone, and 2, maybe 3, depending on if it feels cramped, I think would look really cute down the stomacher with the crocheted lace. But I can't do the lace on the dress and on the stomacher. I don't have enough. I also have this white trim. I assume it's made out of a similar material as the crocheted lace. So I could use this on the dress, but I feel like it's just not enough. Like it needs to be more. Like even the lace and the trim or something. Like it's just too skinny to be on the dress by itself. It doesn't work on the dress. What about on the stomacher? It's, again, feels too thin. Like maybe at the very top, even sticking up would look cute as like almost like a lace ruffle without it actually being a big lace ruffle. But as the only thing going down, it seems too skinny. And I don't want to do just bows because it feels like they're just kind of floating there. The original stomachers, one has lace, flat lace, 3 layers of it, kind of about like maybe like an inch wide or half an inch wide. And then they have a second one, which is ribbon with a single twist put into it. Sew down like that. Now, theirs looks a lot better than that. But 3 of them, 3 pieces of ribbon with a twist, 1, 2, 3, down the front. They have pearls at the center of those twists, but the bows might also look good, but that also feels like too much, maybe? Yeah, that feels like too much. But that's basically where I'm at. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to use what. I'm stuck. I've been thinking about this since yesterday. I guess you'll find out what I do when the next clip starts. here she is. The dress is finally done. It was more difficult than I expected it to be. Uh, a lot of the steps were not as detailed as I expected. There were some steps in the instructions that were just kind of vague and I guess expected you to know certain things, which being a pattern from 1992 and saying that it literally says this is not for children, this is for expert sewers, really showed because I definitely did not know what I was doing some of the time. There were some steps that I either skipped or changed to better fit my sewing level. For the main dress, the sewing of the material was easy. I've sewn with quilting cotton a bunch, but I don't know if it's just because I'm not used to sewing on my machine smaller clothes. I've only done it occasionally for some of my other dolls that I have. So like doing things like the sleeve, and it was telling me to do a gathering stitch to like ease the sleeve into the arm's eye, and that was kind of difficult. Also, some of the steps of like the decorative bits, like this ruffle here, they actually wanted you to cut out a strip of fabric that was the same fabric that the dress was made out of and do like 2 gathering stitches on the outside and, gather it up and fit it to the sleeve. But as you know, I did not have enough of this green fabric, so the back skirt panel is actually made in a different green fabric. So I did not have any fabric to do that with. I tried doing it with this, I think it's an 1.5 inch wide satin ribbon. I tried doing it with that because I'm like, oh, it's the exact size that they want this gathered ribbon to be. And so I tried it, and I guess because of the properties of the ribbon versus a fabric, it wasn't behaving. It was really bubbly, and even when I tried to like press it flat, it wasn't working. So I ended up just doing flat on the bottom, so it is white, and then this gathered ruffle on top just to make it a little bit more interesting. They wanted something similar for the trim here along the front of the dress. They said a ribbon, so I assume they meant like a regular ribbon, not like fabric cut to the size. But what they wanted was to, I think they said pleat it, because in the original dress it is pleated, but it's like 1/8 of an inch wide pleat, multiple of them for the entire length, all the way up and around the back and down the other side. And I was not doing that. So knowing that I had a bunch of different trims to pick from, I was like, I'll definitely just do one of the trims because I'm already going for this white and green color scheme. As I had said the last time I talked to you, I wasn't sure what I was going to do about the trims, and I found this one in my drawer. Focus on me, focus on this. I found this trim in my drawer. I thought I had looked hard enough, and I guess I didn't. And it worked out perfectly because then it meant I could use the crocheted lace for the stomacher. I was originally going to do 3 of these embroidered bows, but when I finished putting the snaps in and like snapped up the dress knot on her, it was too close together, especially here and here. So the bows would actually be like fully over the sides of the dress, which for this one, it's fine that it's like slightly under or over. However, when I do it, I didn't want to tack down the whole thing just so I could see how it behaves. I can always tack that down more. And on a last whim, don't look at me, look at the doll, I put some gold seed beads right at the center to kind of pull in the gold berry imagery on the fabric for the stomacher. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think she looks really cute. And I hope you enjoyed this journey with me as I restored my Felicity and gave her a new outfit. There are other patterns in the pattern book, plus the other dolls pattern books, so I will probably be making more for her at some point. I don't know when. I know the next thing I want to make for her is her school outfit. I already have fabric picked out for that, and I have enough to make the skirt. I have two little quarters of the fabric of one color, and then a quarter of a different color for the top. So that may happen on the channel, may not, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. If you like crochet, sewing, or any other kinds of crafts, please consider a follow. I upload every Sunday, and I hope to see you there. Happy holidays!